This is Saturday Morning Mysteries.
And we're your hosts, Alexis and Grace. Hello, good morning, and welcome back to another episode of Saturday Morning Mysteries, where we're your hosts. I'm Alexis.
I'm Grace.
And oh my gosh, I just got so excited because I remembered. At first, I thought you were about to do the OEO, and I was like, no, damn it. We're not doing tailspin anymore.
No more.
Unless no matter spooky. How much you want to. Exactly. Which, put a pin in that. Oh, no, don't put a pin in that. It's not on my list. Because
it's not on my list either.
It's spooky season. It's officially fucking spooky season. It's our favorite time of the year. I'm speaking for both of us right now. October 1st through November. What day is Thanksgiving this year? The day after Thanksgiving is
the 28th.
Me and Grace's favorite time of the year.
Yes.
Something like that. So, yeah, you know, we're obviously going to share the favorite time of the year with you, with some of our favorite shows of all time and all the spooktacular episodes of them that we can find. Spooktacular. Yeah.
Hell yes. Yes.
Grace is up first for our spooky season.
Sure am. Yes, and as a reminder, we can choose during this now 3-month holiday arc any show we feel like, whether we've covered it or not, as long as we can somehow tie it into that month's theme. Some months it's more of a stretch. Some months it's not. This month,
Thanksgiving, November, we're looking at you.
November. November. All eyes are on you.
You're tough.
You make it difficult, but we love you anyways.
We love you. Exactly.
So, yes, we are kicking it off with our Halloween
Which also, can this now be our official petition? Like, animators, cartoon writers out there, let's do some more for November. Let's do some more fall stuff.
Look at Bob's Burgers.
That's not Halloween. Yeah.
Annual Thanksgiving episodes. Yeah.
You know, and like to make our lives easier. You know,
do it for us.
Great if you hired an entire team of animators and writers and storyboard artists to create Thanksgiving
episodes across all cartoons.
Yeah.
Just send them around cartoon to cartoon.
Retcon some episodes of Powerpuff Girls, if you will, and
get them in there.
Yeah, just look at our playlist for the shows we've covered. Start there.
Yeah. Just get it going, okay?
Yeah.
Just release them as special episodes. You don't need the season to be happening or the series to be happening anymore. Just throw them in there.
How hard is it to have a few leaves falling from trees, you know, in the background? Just do that. Yeah. So
throw them in there.
Anyways.
It's hard or something. Come on. Just do it.
What? Just do it.
Write a whole show. Get it on air. Animate it. Get it streaming. Bye. You have a month.
Yeah.
Get her done. Let go. So before we get to November, hopefully those episodes will be done by then across all shows of all time. Until then, we're in our Halloween arc. And I'm going to kick us off with an episode from one of the new shows we covered this year. Possibly my favorite of the year. Moville Mysteries.
Hey.
Yes.
Nice.
And today's episode, I think, is a recurring theme in all of our Halloween arcs. I feel like every Halloween arc, at least one of us covers this topic, which is the witch trials.
Nice.
It always comes up. Salem, Massachusetts is spooky this time of year. Do you have a witch episode?
No, I don't, but I just remember my first episode is also from Moville Mysteries.
Oh, so hell yeah. I mean, I love
how much we love it. It is. But also, I guess that means we probably found both of the Halloween episodes. And also here I am adjusting my chair, by the way.
So it begins.
Oh, that's right. That was, I made that disclaimer last week. I guess, we're recording multiple episodes in one take here one day.
With one broken chair.
I said it last week if you were around. My chair has been acting up lately and I'm slowly getting lower and lower with every movement. So I may very often have to readjust myself or just half stand up to make it look like I haven't fallen.
Nice posture.
That'd be good for my posture. Yeah, I need to work on it. So no. Anyway, sorry.
We love Moville Mysteries. It's very spooky. Yes. Yeah, and again, because this one has to do with witch trials, I decided it was a Halloween episode. But also because the title of this episode I think fits for the Halloween horror season, as it is
Mm.
referencing a horror movie. The episode doesn't as much, but the title does, because it is season 1, episode 5, entitled The Moville Witch Project.
I knew it. I just knew it. I knew it.
Yeah, I said the word witch already like 12 times.
Yeah, when you said witch and when you said movie title, I was like, just say it.
Right? It writes itself, baby.
It does.
But, unfortunately, while this episode does have to do with witches, which, again, why it's a Halloween episode, they didn't really make, to me, any blatantly obvious, like, Blair Witch Project references, which feels like a missed opportunity. But, yeah, you're like, it's a children's show, Grace.
It's like, that's probably good. You're like, I think they should have included the part where, they attack the tent in the middle of the night. Hmm? Exactly. Yeah.
There was no camping in this entire
Why
episode.
are there no little voodoo dolls hanging from the trees in this neighborhood?
They've had voodoo dolls hanging in this fucking show before.
That's true. So... You're not wrong. That's exactly, true. Yeah.
I know.
Should we expect it from Moville Mysteries? No, but... but we do expect it from them.
Yeah, but I expect it from Moville Mysteries.
Okay.
So, alas, we are going to start out with our main character, Mo, cheery as usual, telling us, the audience, breaking the fourth wall, that we should all remember to enjoy today while we still have it, because tomorrow will be full of torture.
Oh.
Because his class just got assigned an oral history project. So he has homework to do. It's going to be torturous.
Torture.
And this project is about doing research on their own personal ancestors. So basically research your family tree, present about someone in that family tree. This was before Ancestry.com, so you actually had to do some hardcore research for it.
Yeah.
And Mo, Mimi, and Hitch, our little trio, are bemoaning this project and how boring it's going to be to them, which, okay, maybe to them, but I don't think this project's boring. I love projects like this. I think this is interesting. Like, families have cool history.
I want to know. Yeah.
Do some research. But anyways, Mo, wanting to work smarter, not harder on this,
of course,
has it's a bit of an idea. And he says, instead of just talking about our ancestors, why don't we just bring them to class?
Oh, no. Okay. That's not quite what I thought I was going to say, but it's the same.
Same vibe?
It's a Moism. It's the same vibe.
It's a Moism. Well, Mimi and Hitch are also familiar with Moisms, and Hitch immediately goes, remember last time we grave robbed for school? Kindergarten will never be the same.
Oh, man, they got started early in life.
Classic fucking Mo. First time he could hold up a shovel, he went straight to the cemetery.
He's like straight to the graves. Yeah.
Straight to the mausoleum. But to Mo's credit, he says, guys, no, I didn't mean grave robbing this time.
Good.
And instead, we see him take Mimi and Hitch to Lizzie's occult shop. Yes, Lizzie is our town. Yes. She basically looks like the what was her name in Courage the Cowardly Dog? Shirley, yes. Yeah. This little raggedy ass, she's a human in this show, but she looks like the dog Shirley from Courage the Cowardly Dog.
She does.
She's the town soothsayer, witch, occultist, expert on all things spooky and otherworldly.
She probably does great business in Ouija Falls. Being a town called Ouija Falls and all.
Let me tell you, this store floor to ceiling, filled with spooky shit. She's got everything, including a book that Mo finds called Raising the Dead for Idiots.
Oh, nice. They may. Oh man, I gotta get one of those. That'd be nice to have.
From the one time we did a Ouija board, we should have had the For Idiots for Dummies version of how to do it.
Ouija boards for dummies.
Yeah, exactly.
Seances for dummies.
Seances for dummies. Yep, exactly. All of the above we could have used and still could to this day. But yes, Mo is instead of writing a report like a bunch of fucking nerds, let's just have a seance that calls one of them forward, and then they can just talk about their lives themselves. We don't have to write shit.
So instead of doing an oral report, they're like, let's just do show and tell instead.
Exactly. He was
bring them to class with us.
yeah, making a report on like what my parents do for work, I'll just have them come in and explain what they do for work. Like
Yeah.
I'm about networking here is what Mo's saying right now, you
Yeah.
know? And as the
Right.
middleman and as the person who makes the connections, I don't do any of the hard work. I just,
Just connect.
yeah, I
He's
just
the
connect
consultant.
here. Mo is a consultant from the living to the dead.
To the
You
dead,
know, his like
exactly.
little business cards.
Yeah.
So Mimi and Hitch, though, they're like, well, obviously we know Hitch doesn't want to write a fucking report. He's like,
No, he's like, yeah, shit, please conjure up
I
the
didn't,
spirit of my
yeah,
dead great 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 grandfather.
Hitch
Please.
didn't even care
Anything to
what
keep me from having to pick up a pen.
yeah, he didn't care what the solution was. He was in. And
Yeah.
surprisingly, Mimi, who usually is very studious, she was like, look, I got other homework and shit to do. Let's do it.
Hmm.
And I will say, by the way, as we just alluded to, we love a seance here on Saturday Morning
Mhm.
Mysteries. I'm not going to get into full seances because Alexis broke
We've done
down
this
how to
before.
properly hold a seance in
Last
last year's
Halloween.
Halloween arc, which was episode 83, entitled Halloween and We Are the Weirdos. So
Yes. And we
instead of
are.
yes, talking about exactly, instead of talking about seances itself, I was like, let's just generally talk here about raising the dead. But
Okay, I'm
then
down. Oh,
here's the thing. When I started looking into all of this, it was
got
all
a little
about
dark.
religion. No, and I was like,
Oh.
oh, I've already heard of Jesus Christ. This is so boring. Give
I'm
me a
talking
new
about bringing
fucking
someone else back from the
story.
dead, not him, someone
God,
else. Yeah.
it's been done. It's been told like a bazillion fucking
It's
times.
like,
Have
is
you
that
heard of
really the only
Easter?
story? Yeah.
Yeah,
No one
but
else has. Yeah.
it turns out I was in the wrong of how I was
Oh.
Googling it because I was looking up the
Mm.
words
You had
raising
to
the dead.
revisit your search terms. Yeah.
Exactly.
You
So
had
like
to you had to
JC's got the
reframe
SEO
your
on that.
research
Exactly.
methodology. Yes.
Yes, I really had to like shift my entire thinking
Yeah,
of
your
this.
hypotheses needed to shift. Yeah.
Exactly. My original thought here, in my
Uh-huh.
scientific inquiry. And so I
Yeah.
was like, "Ugh, raising the dead, it leads me to resurrection, which leads me to religion. Again, snooze fest. What I needed to look up was necromancy.
Oh, yes, yes,
So,
yes, yes. For what? A fourth time. Yes.
so here's the thing. I have a personal, it's weird to say connection or love with necromancy, but
I
basically,
don't.
we've talked so many times before about how I love D&D and D and play Dungeons and Dragons, and I'm
Yes. Fifth
constantly
time.
playing characters who are always, trying to raise their army of the dead or whatever, like
Hmm.
those small details. It's one of my favorite tropes to play in D&D, and
Nice.
so I
It's a
was
powerful one.
it's a powerful one. It's a great one. I'm sure in video games it's super fun too. I
Hmm.
love an army of the dead, a la Lord of the Rings, et cetera, et
Hmm.
cetera. But
It goes well with
today,
witchcraft too. 'Cause
exactly, yeah, hand in
it's like
hand,
one of
which
the
is
things they have
love.
to, aren't there like seven things witches have to like be tested in to become full witches or something like that?
Why would you ask me
Necromancy
that
is one of them.
question?
Sorry, because we like witches. Sorry, never
I
mind,
didn't look
nothing.
up
We'll talk
witch
about it later.
tests. Change your plan, do a fucking witch episode. You tell me.
I was gonna say, I
You
was
tell
like, I
me,
hope one of my
Alexis.
episodes has to do with witches, but it doesn't. I'm just gonna say it anyway during one of my episodes.
Just like
Anyways,
shoehorn it in, like I'm
yeah.
shoehorning in necromancy. But yes, so we're going to briefly talk about necromancy as a whole. If you're familiar with us, we just use Wikipedia for most of our research, and this
Mhm.
is what I've done here as well. So
Mhm.
I'm just going to give like some highlights here on necromancy in world history. So, yes, necromancy is the practice of magic communicating with the dead via summoning their spirits for divination, which, yes, can be used to raise them from the dead, perhaps into an army, for example,
Mhm.
if you're
Maybe.
me playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Yes.
But it's also categorized as death magic, which makes it sound even cooler. But
Yes.
in some cases, it's been called bone conjurers, which I said, sign me up.
Okay. Yeah, I like
Done.
that.
For people watching YouTube, if you can't see the bones behind me
Yeah. That
in
she has
my office
conjured.
that I
Yeah.
have gotten from many places in various parts of my life, et cetera, et cetera. Don't need to ask questions about that.
Yeah.
But
she's just a bone conjurer.
Just a bone conjurer, baby. And I love a thing that's universal, even though cultures at the time had no way to like collaborate on ideas. We've talked about this before, like dragons or like shooting stars and comets. And apparently necromancy falls into that category too, as there are records of the practice in ancient Egypt, Babylonia, Greece, China, and Persia.
Okay.
The oldest literary, so like written account of necromancy was actually in the Odyssey. Early necromancy, so before kind of written word that's lasted to this day, most likely evolved from types of shamanism and ritual magic. And the rituals could be simple, from using wands and talismans, could be a little more elaborate to connect with the dead by doing things like wearing their clothing, mutilation, consumption of the corpses, whatever the situation called for in that moment.
Yeah, it depended on what god they were trying to please or whatever.
Demands. They're picky, those ancient gods. So, to talk a little more about Western necromancy, because of course, Wikipedia mainly focused on that rather than Middle Eastern or Eastern necromancy, which I feel is probably a lot fucking cooler. But the medieval times in Europe fucking loved necromancy, which feels like no surprise because medieval times were just buck wild and very spooky.
Yeah.
But interestingly, I bring this up because necromancy at this time was actually probably a combo of different influences, actually taking from beyond just Europe. So taking from probably like Arabic astral magic, and then exorcisms from Christian and Jewish teachings. And that's kind of like what inspired, like medieval necromancy, which like, stars and exorcisms, like sounds fun.
It's a very global area of study.
Phenomenon.
Exactly. Yeah, like we're gonna pick from all sorts of phenomenon.
So finally, a fun little snippet of just an example of how metal in medieval times were is that there is a record of a 15th century manuscript called in English the Munich Manual of Demonic Magic.
And it's fun.
Essentially
like
the same book that Mo, Hitch, and Mimi picked up because it spells out the instructions, including with pictures and symbols, for raising demons and attaining their favors for them and or describing their actual demonic powers. So like light reading, if you indeed, yes, like you just said, could read in the 15th century.
Yeah. Like a little picnic, if you could read. That's the big kicker right there.
Yeah, if
they
you
knew
could
it, like,
read,
only like 3 people will be able to read this, so might as well
but they'll
write
have
it.
all the demons.
Yes.
Them. Get our boy Beelzebub all up in here. So, anyways, that's a tidbit about necromancy. And here in Moville Mysteries, I'm thinking, here's what I'm assuming that they're going to do is they got this book, aka this 15th century manuscript is what I'm assuming the actual copy was, and it was just translated into Raising the Dead for Dummies. I was like, cool.
They're kids version.
Yeah, it's got like friendlier pictures in it.
Yeah.
Mo was filing through it to find the adult version. He doesn't want that kid shit. Wants the gore,
guess
baby.
This will do. This is all that Lizzie has right now.
Yeah, everything else is sold out because other kids had this idea as well for their project. We got here too late. But I was assuming, cool, they're gonna, bring the book home, whatever other items they had to buy at this occult shop, do a little evening seance for the ancestors, give them a quick rundown of the project and their ask, and be like, all right, come to school with me tomorrow. Sounds like an all-nighter. But like either way, they haven't written their report. So if it doesn't work tonight, they still got time to write the report. Mo's confidence in this is like at a 300.
He's done this before.
He's got the book.
He's watched the video.
He has gone to YouTube University, baby. He just feels the connection with the dead. Again, he's a consultant, so he's overly confident. In what he can do.
And overpaid. Yeah.
And overpaid for not a lot of work. And he talks Mimi and Hitch. He's like, look, we can just do this seance live in class as our presentation. It'll totally work fine. We don't need to practice. We don't need to read the instructions beforehand. Fuck it, we're doing it live, is what Mo is saying.
We're doing it live.
So we cut to their class the next day. Of course, they talked into the teacher to letting them do, I guess, a 3-way presentation. They were like, we're going to summon all 3 ancestors at once.
Like, we promise you, we all did distinct work in the project. We can all be graded separately. Yeah, but it's just like, for whatever reason, we have to go together.
We have to go together. It's the power of 3. I don't know. It's some ritualistic number. Mo, I'm sure, hammed it up. And we know this teacher is so tired of all of the shit in this class. Yeah. She was like,
just hurry up.
Yeah, let's go. So yes, in the classroom, Mo, Mimi, and Hitch have pulled up a table kind of in the front of the class, in front of the chalkboard. That's got a shitload of symbols written across it, which Mo was up to for, the extra flair. And all the lights are out in class, but there's a big fat candle lit in the middle of the table. And Mo, Mimi, and Hitch are all holding hands and reading from the Raising the Dead book that they received.
Okay. Going well so far, as you know, for seances. Mostly. No blood, but okay, that's fine.
That we know of.
Exactly. There probably is some. I wouldn't put it past Mo.
Mo's got a vial always on hand.
Yeah.
I would imagine. So we hear them reading from the book and saying, "From the far corners of the globe, we call up our loved ones past to hear their stories, the spell we cast. Those from beyond who wish to make contact, enter our spirit circle. Ancestors from beyond, I beseech thee, reveal thyself to Mo, Hitch, and Mimi."
Oh, cute.
So, yeah, their names happen to work out perfectly with that little phrase. Mo was up all night editing it to make sure it was perfect.
Yeah, I think he had like 20 different lines. Yeah, 20 different reads.
Yeah, exactly. And as they finish saying this, Mimi looks a little nervous because she knows Mo does have some connections with the dead. The other kids in class, though, like start kind of giggling. They're like, "Oh my God, classic Mo." And then nothing happens.
Oh.
And they sit there. We see the clock kind of rolling by. We see Mo starting.
The other students are like, "Please continue. Like, less time for us. Like, we don't have to.
We didn't do a report either, bro. You checked out the only book from Lizzie's shop. We were all gonna do a seance.
Hold up that clock.
It's not fucking working.
Hold up that clock, bro.
It literally
the teacher's trying to be like, "Hurry up, finish it up," and the student's like, "No, teacher, we really need to learn about Mo, Mimi, and Hitch's culture, okay?"
Culture. Ouija falls that we all share.
Yeah.
We do get an incredible zoom in on the teacher, and it's their same teacher as always.
Yeah.
And we hear her internal monologue say, "I knew I should have been an airline stewardess."
Oh gosh. Yikes.
She fucking hates her life.
That's so sad. Okay. Well, that's a whole other commentary.
You know what? Shout out to our teachers out there, including our
and our
teacher,
airline
Lenny.
Stewards. Yeah.
And our airline stewards.
Yeah.
Everyone's underpaid here.
Exactly. And overworked.
Overworked. Yeah, except for consultants like Mo. So the kids, including Hitch at this point, are falling asleep at their desks. And Mo is getting more and more forceful and desperate. He's throwing his hands in the air. He's flipping through that book for other incantations. He is yelling, "Ancient spirits, I command you to reveal thyself." But at this point, the bell rings. The kids shuffle out of class. The teacher's like, "All right, I'm fucking out. She's probably going out for a smoke break." Like,
she's probably just going to give everyone else A's now. Like Mo, Mimi, and Hitch are going to get like D's and everyone else just gets an A. Like, all right, well, that's what you get for wasting our whole class period.
She's like, "This is the last break before Halloween break," because they obviously definitely have that in Ouija Falls. I'm out of here.
Week off. Yeah.
Yeah. And Mimi gets up from the table and throws her papers down as she starts to storm out the door because, like you just said, they're getting D's at best. And she is pissed at Mo for talking her into this project and the fact that it didn't work because, yes, she got a failing grade. And we know, again, she is a good student.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which, like, it's a good lesson that sometimes you actually got to do the work and not find a workaround. Like sometimes
At
it's
least
more
have a
work.
plan B.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes it's more work to try and cheat than actually do the work.
Yeah.
But right as Mimi gets to the door, again, ready to fully storm out, it slams shut in front of her. And the lights cut out in the classroom because the teacher had turned them on when she was dismissing the class. And a breeze blows through and blows out the candle. And Mimi at first is like, Mo, cut the shit. It didn't work. We're getting a failing grade. I'm sick of your shit. But she turns around and even Mo looks freaked out, which takes a lot to freak Mo out.
Literally, he's fearless.
Yeah, he's a spooky ass kid himself.
Yeah.
But the breeze in the classroom turns into a wind, which turns into a cold gust, and they all start shivering and hearing what sounds like distant screams. But it is Lone Pine High, so like it could just be another classroom. We know they have really spooky, scary classes. So like they're not totally convinced that this is some scary supernatural thing quite yet. At least until Mo lights the candle again, and one of the walls in the classroom suddenly has shadows across it, which they can all see, and more importantly, hear. And it's three shadows of men who seem like they're farmers. They've got like flat brimmed hats, and like pitchforks and, like a scythe.
Casually. It's like farm equipment from back in the day. I don't know, the 1800s or whatever. I mean, it's like a walking murder factory. Yeah.
Exactly.
It's insane.
They're like, if the plague isn't going to kill us, this pitchfork and
our farm utensils will.
Yeah, exactly.
Here, let's let the Grim Reaper use this thing that farmers are also known to use, like the buck.
That will give it to him.
Yes.
So these three farmers with, very sharp, dangerous weapons are all shouting, she's a witch, burn her. She cohorts with the devil, burn her. Which, pretty standard language to be like, here's a little witch trial, kids.
Yeah, here we go. Poor Mimi. Yeah, she's like, damn it, I am the only woman here, aren't I? This is unfortunate.
Fuck. But no, Mimi doesn't have to worry because there's another shadow here. And again, like in standard kid shows, it's like, oh, here's a witch trial. Oh no, they're yelling about burning someone, et cetera, et cetera. But we know Moville Mysteries isn't a standard kid show because
they're gonna actually show you burning somebody.
Because at the back behind these three men is a shadow of a woman being dragged by her ankles, fighting to get free from the men as she screams and begs for help. And then the shadows all like transform, into this woman now being tied up at the stake with flames going all around her, and her screaming increases, screaming that she is innocent. And then the flames fully engulf her and the shadows go away. So
they're like, see, it's child friendly because we did that by shadows. We didn't actually show you a woman burning and being dragged by her ankles.
It's chill. We're referencing no horror movies.
See, parents, this is appropriate for your children.
This is chill, parents. It's so chill.
So chill.
So while Hitch, of course, is like cowering at this, rightfully so, Mo, of course, runs towards where the shadows were and starts yelling like, who are you? Reveal thyself.
Oh, God. Come on, Mo.
I know. Mo is like, it's working. I'm doing it. This is great.
I'm in control.
I'm
loving your dogs in the background right now.
I'll say YouTube plug.
Oh my God, they're so adorable. They're just playing. They're
YouTube plug.
Fighting for your attention. Yes,
they really are right now. The spotted one usually never comes up while I record, but now they are wrestling and have been vying for my attention. So we're just gonna let this happen in the background.
Just let them
Don't
play.
worry about them chopping each other.
Don't mind them.
That's just how they play.
Good.
Just let it happen. They love spooky season 2.
They do. Yeah. They're excited. They hear us talking about
fucking hyped.
Spooky shows, and they're like, "Oh, wait, we got to hear Mom talk about that."
Yeah, they're like, "Wait, we love that shit." Okay, bye. No, they've left. So, anyways,
They
yes,
love the camera.
runs to the jailer. I'm sure they'll be back. But yes, Mo runs to the chalkboard because the woman shadow that had been burnt, presumably alive, suddenly appears there. And her shadow is able to pick up a piece of chalk and she starts writing on the board the letters M-A-R. But the piece of chalk drops when, again, we hear the voices of the men screaming, "Burn her." So the shadow of the woman basically starts running away, screaming that she's innocent, and eventually like kind of peels off the wall. But it seems like now the shadows have peeled off the wall, again, the woman and the men running after her, and they start swirling around the room again and again. And specifically swirling around Mimi until they're suddenly gone.
Shit.
Hitch at this point slams those lights back on and is like, well, okay, I'm done here.
Yeah, I've seen more than enough. I've seen too much.
I thought kindergarten was bad. This is also bad, actually. I don't know which one's worse.
I feel like we just did something much worse than kindergarten.
Yeah, we've become more mature, so have our crimes. Unsure what they are. So,
gosh.
Mimi, however, well, maybe this is a Blair Witch Project reference, is just staring blankly for a second. Let's say in a corner. Let's assume she's in the corner.
Why not? Maybe,
now.
Just for shits and giggles, why not put her there?
Let's say she's there.
No, everybody puts Mimi in the corner.
Nobody puts Mimi in the corner. So, she's staring blankly for a second until Mo like snaps his hands in front of her face. And she kind of snaps out of it and just goes back to Mo and snaps at him again for making her fail this project. And she storms out of the classroom, rips open the door, storms out, apparently unfazed and unbothered by all this spooky shit. But again, she's best friends with Mo. So like,
normal Tuesday.
Exactly. Yeah. So Mo and Hitch kind of shrug Mimi off because, they're like, well, she gets mad at us pretty often, actually. So this checks.
Normal Tuesday. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Just a normal school day. But Mo now is more invested into this shadowy mystery. And Hitch, he's already probably failing this class. He doesn't care. He just failed another project. He's like, what's another D?
I'm used to it.
Yeah, exactly. So Mo wants to know who/what this spirit is that they contacted. And he looks at the board and jots down M-A-R and says, well, looks like we got to do some digging. To which Hitch was like, I knew we were going to end up grave robbing.
Graveyard?
Hitch is always secretly ready, I think. But Mo is like offended. He's like, why do you guys always think I want to go grave robbing? Which is funny because there's been multiple episodes where indeed they've gone
grave robbing. I think they did it in just about every episode of our main arc of this. It was like all but 2 episodes. They literally robbed graves. Or the resting place, at least, of someone.
They have their own storage shed for their shovels, probably, in the graveyard at this point.
Yeah, at every graveyard.
Yeah, all of them in town. So instead of going to the graveyard, they go to the school library for research.
Okay.
So, as a total side note, I guess that had been like the last class of the day, and everybody has kind of gone home. But they need the keys to get into the library, and there's still some teachers around. So they go to like the teacher's lounge because they hear teachers in there to be like, hi, can we have the library key? We just want to do our homework type of thing. And I mainly point this out because the teacher's lounge door, one, they hear all the teachers playing poker in there. Two, the door is like a full-on nuclear reactor door. Like,
oh my gosh,
super thick metal. It has like the yellow like warning signs and like tape and one of those like eye slide hole, like speakeasy style.
Check who's coming in.
Exactly. And the teacher just sees them and like throws the keys out and slams it shut again. So it was just a really lovely moment.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it was great.
Especially as a kid, like, God, I just want to know what's back there.
What's behind these doors? Obviously, more radioactive waste.
Right.
So, or they're trying to keep it out from these students who are probably dripping in it at all times.
Also true. So either one is believable.
Exactly. So they head to the library and they pass Mimi in the hall and they're like, "Hey, girly, are you still mad at us? If you're not, we're gonna be in the library to do research. You love research about witch burnings. Isn't that fun? Like,
Ooh, yeah.
come on in if you don't hate us now." And so, like, she takes a moment to think about it, but like they know she's gonna come because they're all besties. But as Mimi does indeed like start like following behind them a little bit, she's going a little slower. She pauses for a second and looks into one of like a glass case or like a classroom window in the hall. And as she's staring, kind of that same like blank stare from before, we see her reflection melt away. And in its
Whoa.
place is a Puritan looking woman with the
Uh-oh.
same voice from before that we heard come from the
From the
shadow.
shadows. Wow.
Yep, but we fully see her now instead of just a shadow. We see her in this reflection, and she's pleading that she's innocent and is begging for help. But she starts looking over her shoulder before dissipating again in a large scream as if someone was running after her. Just leaving Mimi's normal reflection like before.
Okay, not at all disturbing
Not disturbing because Mimi just follows the boys into the library. No problem.
She just like brushed it off, just like, well, that was weird anyways.
Yeah, just like, all right, gotta get some research done.
It's like, man, I must be hungry or something, or I must.
Yeah, I'm just had a long day. That failing. This is the first time I've ever failed a test. Yeah, this is what it likes to be a failure. Is this how Hitch feels all the time?
I guess he's always hallucinating in those 3D glasses.
Yeah, that's why he keeps them on to keep them straight.
Yeah.
So in the library, Mo and Hitch find info on the 1690s Ouija Falls witch trials that indeed happened in Ouija Falls.
Of course.
So when Mo announces this, we see Mimi gasp in the background, nearly dropping the book that she was doing research in. And a light next to her, like in this library, flickers when this happens. And we see, but the boys don't because they've immediately gone onto the computer. We see Mimi's eyes flick green for a second, like a brief glow of green, and then just back to normal. And again, Mimi just kind of shakes it off and continues reading her book.
Okay. Don't love it.
We don't love to see it, but Mo and Hitch didn't see it.
But they didn't see it, so
they don't love anything.
So except for no matter what we love, we're not there.
We're not there to tell them.
Yeah.
So apparently the Ouija Falls witch trials, during those, 13 young girls burned at the stake.
Yikes.
Not long after these trials, the courthouse burned to the ground, including all of the records that were held there. And
gosh, this is too deep.
That it
too
burned
much already.
On that exact spot, they built a small school. A small school that I presume, based on a previous episode, burnt down more than once.
More than once, yes.
Maybe by a time traveler.
In some other time
incident.
Yeah, in some other universe.
Other time loop.
Yes, if you will. I wonder if they corrected that. I don't know.
No, probably not. I think it probably burnt multiple times, or maybe that was when it burnt at some point. Anyways, go back and listen to our Moville Mysteries arc for maybe Hitch burning some shit down. But anyways, that small school, after I guess it was rebuilt, kept expanding and expanding until, yes, it became, you guessed it, the Lone Pine High we know and love today and are currently doing research in. But, you know, I gotta say, casually going to a school on which, like, witch trials and, like, burial grounds were and, like, occurred is not shocking to Mo and Hitch. They're like, everywhere is a graveyard of some horrible event. We live in Ouija Falls.
It's either a super fun zone or it's a haunted something or haunted as fuck. Yeah.
All of the above at once.
Literally
sometimes.
Every single plot of land in Ouija Falls falls into one of those three categories.
Yeah, that's actually how they
zone. That's how they
They
zone. They don't do it based on residential or like industrial. They zone based on,
Radioactive, cursed,
yeah,
haunted.
animal cursed, human cursed,
Yeah.
monster, swamp monster. Like, yeah, what this
Yeah,
is our
there's a lot of
zoning.
categories, but they're all
Yeah, you
spooky.
can build whatever you want wherever. Just
Yeah, we
know,
don't give a
like,
fuck.
this is the horror of
It's
that
gonna be
area.
bad. Things are
Yeah.
gonna go wrong as long as you know.
Uh-huh.
So, yes, they're like unfazed by this information and they're just focused on what that MAR could mean.
Mm-hmm.
And so they do assume it's probably the name of a woman, the woman who is writing on the
Fair.
board, that shadow, because again, Mo had been saying, like, who goes there? Who are you?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so they start like trying to guess some names. Mary, Margaret, Marilyn, and from
All
behind
women's
them,
names.
all women's names that start with MAR,
Yeah.
we hear very softly Mimi, and she says, Martha. And
I just got like chills. I don't like that because she's been so quiet and then out of nowhere, just
she goes,
Martha.
Martha. And then
Uh,
the boys don't hear her. So suddenly she shouts, Martha,
uh,
which suddenly does get their attention
now
this
they
time.
hear. Yeah.
And when they look at Mimi now, she's a little more pale than she usually is.
Oh.
She's got some bags under her eyes, and
Mhm.
those eyes, you better believe, are back into that 1,000-yard stare from before.
Great.
And she's back
Like
to
green or
whispering
yeah.
as, nope, they're normal right now, not
Okay.
green, but she is muttering to herself and saying, I am Martha, over and over and over again.
Oh boy.
And at this,
Uh-oh.
the boys are like, Mimi?
Are you sure? Has that
You
been
good?
your name all along? Yeah.
No, they're like, wait, shit, what's Mimi short for?
Yeah, I know. They're like,
Miriam?
I didn't think it was Mimi, but I
Mariam?
thought, yeah, Marthium?
Shit, what's her nickname? What's her government
Her
name?
full name, yeah.
But as they're pondering this and like again trying to like snap their hands in front of her, be like, Mimi, focus, focus.
Yeah.
There is a glass case nearby, and they see the Puritan woman from before appear, like her figure appears in the glass case again in place of Mimi's reflection.
Mm-hmm.
And again, she's screaming for help. The boys have seen her this time, though. You know, she's got this like standard run-of-the-mill Puritan lady outfit, a la, let's say, Salem, Massachusetts in the 1690s, perhaps.
Okay,
One
that sounds
could assume.
familiar. Yeah.
It's very familiar.
Yeah.
So again, she starts looking over her shoulder. It looks like she's starting to run, and her like image dissipates.
Mm.
And as the reflection disappears, Mimi looks at Mo and Hitch, who are just like staring at her, like mouths agape. And she's like, why are you guys staring at me? Like, what's wrong with you guys?
Whoa.
God, I hate hanging out with you guys sometimes.
All you do is stare and dig up graves.
Yeah, God, it's pretty tiring.
Yeah.
So they tell her what happened, and she doesn't believe them. She's like, Mo, are you just trying to get me not to be mad at you anymore? Like, the seance worked, Mimi. Don't be mad. Come on.
It's like a wild thing to make up, though. And
But,
like
like,
a wild way to try to not get someone to be mad at you. Like,
wild in our world. They live in Ouija Falls.
yeah, true. Yeah, that's true.
We
But
literally just talked about their zoning ordinances.
but it's still, but like it seems weird to like even there, I feel like it's weird to try to convince someone that they turned into.
Oh, like
Like, why would you lie
possessed.
about that? Yeah, you know, like I would no, since it's Ouija Falls, I would err if I were Mimi, I'd err on the side of like, oh shit, I probably was just possessed. We live in this crazy town rather than believing that like Mo and Hitch
It's
would
a
lie.
plot to
Yeah, you know.
I think she's just
But I
that
guess
mad
like
because she's
maybe
never
yeah.
failed before.
I was gonna say I guess I could see either way with how weird this place is.
Yeah, that she's
I don't
just
live
like,
there, so like
this
I
is the
can't.
boy who cried wolf situation. This is the boy who cried
Yes.
seance, you know?
I can't empathize. I can only sympathize. I have no idea.
At best with Mimi here.
Yeah.
But yes, well, you're about to sympathize with her even more because she storms out of school at this point. And as she's walking out, a very Halloweeny black cat starts following her and circling her feet. But that's why you're gonna be sympathetic with her. Mimi, it turns out, is allergic to cats.
Oh,
I know. You would live a very sad life if that were your case.
That sucks.
So she starts like sneezing like crazy and like shooing it away. But this like kind of distraction, momentary distraction, gives Mo and Hitch time to catch up with her because she obviously had to stop to like get it out of her path.
Yeah. Oh, how unfortunate.
I know, very sad.
Being like that. I'm mildly allergic to cats, but not to the point like if one walks up to me, I'm not sneezing.
Yeah, she immediately just
that sucks.
Sneezing up a storm. It's very sad for her.
Yeah.
So they're like kind of like in downtown Ouija Falls at this point when they catch up to her. And they are right by like a phone booth, in days of yore, phone booths. And
it's been so long.
It's been so long. It's been 84 years. So she stops again in front of it and the boys catch up. But as they catch up to her, again, her face goes blank and her reflection in the phone booth glass changes to that Puritan woman, Martha. But this time, Martha looks directly at Mo and Hitch, like recognizing them from before, and she begs them directly to prove her innocence. And here we get a flashback to see what happened to her.
Oh gosh.
So I know. Alexis, it's not
wild up in here.
But it's not good.
Not violent. Yeah.
Okay, so way back in 1690, Martha was but a young Puritan woman, a young woman living a happy life in Ouija Falls. But she was courted by a man named Caleb, who she had no interest in. And when he finally proposed to her, she refused him, which made him fly into a rage. And as you can imagine, as was often done during the actual witch trials, if you had a slight problem with someone, you could just say she's a witch.
A witch, yeah. Neighborhood dispute? Yeah, she's probably a witch. Get embarrassed by a female? She's a witch.
Yep. Slightly inconvenienced by a female? Witch. Burner. So that's exactly what Caleb did. We see him, we do see him dragging her by the wrist into town, accusing her of being a witch. And then we saw the rest in shadow form of, the rest of the folks in Ouija Falls agreeing with him, dragging her to the stake, burning her alive, etc., etc.
God.
So Mo and Hitch are like, I mean, we don't know what to do to help you here. Like,
yeah, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, I mean, like, we'll do everything we can, though. What can we do?
What can we do? Yeah.
Yeah, and as they're like pondering and being like, what are we supposed to do? We do notice that this like ghost, this reflection of Martha, is able to like, as she like kind of moves like through the phone booth, Mimi is also moving. So we're like kind of getting the hint that like the spirit is maybe possessing.
Like taken over. Oh,
yeah, because she's controlling Mimi's movements. So like, for example, she like, like in phone booths, they, have like the big like yellow pages and stuff. And so she's like picking that up and being like, what is this? And Mo and Hitch are like, you find people to talk to in it. Like you put the number in and like it has people's, this is how you find people kind of thing. Like, this is a telephone. So they're like, okay, well, phone's not going to fucking help us right now. But you know what will? Lizzie's occult shop.
Yes. When in doubt.
Go to Lizzie's.
Run to Lizzie. Yeah.
Yep. So they, go to Lizzie's occult shop where at this point, we see even more that Martha seems to be more and more fully in control of Mimi. So, for example, when they walk in, there's, like this giant cabinet of potions. And we see, again, it's Martha's reflection, but still Mimi's body. But we see both Mimi and Martha's reflection like gasp and kind of like jump back in fear when they see the potion like cabinet, saying, like, they must flee this shop. This is a shop of witchcraft and evil. And like, basically, we got a GTFO. Like, witches are
Damn.
bad. Trust me, I was
So,
blamed for being one.
so I was gonna say, even
Yeah.
though she was like blamed for being one, obviously wrongly, she still believes in them though. She's like,
Yeah,
no,
I
they
mean,
don't
like,
exist. I was,
I mean,
uh,
she's probably like, I think she's not saying they don't exist. I think she's like, I wasn't
I'm just
one.
not
Those
one.
bitches made
Yeah,
me look like one. Those bitches made me a
yeah,
witch. So
fair.
now I'm pissed at them forever.
Hmm.
They led me to be burnt alive. And it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have been burned at the stake. But Mo and Hitch run to her side and they're like, whoa, 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 Martha slash Mimi. Being a witch is cool now. Like, witches are in.
We've reclaimed the word, okay?
We liked it.
It's it's no longer an insult.
It's not an insult, baby. This
Yeah.
is the 90s, honey. Look at all this witch shit ever left, right? Practical magic, like everything left, right, and
Yeah.
center. It's all witches, honey. So Martha slash Mimi pauses for a second, like hearing this like low-key traumatic news, being like, oh, if I was only born 300 years in the future, I wouldn't have been
Then I
burnt
wouldn't have
fucking
died.
alive.
Brutally murdered.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tortured, kidnapped, murdered.
Like that's
Yeah.
really not that comforting actually to
Yeah.
hear.
It's not. It's like, oh no, we're gonna make witches hate it again. I will not die in vain.
Yeah.
Like, you kidding me?
Exactly. Like, what a waste of my goddamn life, I guess.
Actually, yikes. In hindsight, no, I mean it's probably fine, but it does kind of when you
Suck.
think about it, yeah, like respect
Yeah.
witches and people who practice whatever religion, whatever they practice. But in a way, it's like the way that it is. I mean, to super religious people, it's still negative,
Yeah,
obviously,
that's
but like the
true.
general public doesn't see witches as like negative,
Yeah.
like scary boogeyman
Oh
anymore. So it's like,
no.
ooh, all those women did kind of die in.
Oh, for
Wait,
absolutely actually nothing.
yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Well,
Yeah, I
thank you
can't
for
wait to
your
hear
sacrifice.
in 300
Not
years what people are
sacrifice.
saying about us similarly of like,
Yeah,
wow,
exactly. Wow,
2024?
idiots.
Dumbasses. Well, we've reclaimed fill in the blank, something that we are currently doing that we don't know is stupid yet.
Exactly, exactly.
Many things.
Anyways,
So at this though, yeah, this like again, low-key traumatic news. It probably could have been delivered in a little smoother of a way, but these are two high
yeah,
school boys. So what are you gonna do?
yeah.
We see Mimi's body, her eyes glow green again for a second. And then both her actual body and the reflection of Martha, both of them throw their heads back in laughter.
Mm.
And we see, or we hear the laughter echo through the shop. And we see Martha's reflection melt away. And in its place, it's no longer the young Puritan looking Martha,
Hmm.
but instead, the reflection in the cabinet transforms into what I can really only describe as an old hag.
Oh, hmm.
She's like
Yikes.
super crooned over. Her clothes are tattered. She's only got a couple little specks of hair. Those eyes
Mm.
are all twitchy, and she is cackling, as
Uh-oh.
is Mimi in full at this point.
Uh-oh.
And Mimi, basically Martha as Mimi, we're just going to call her maybe Martha at this point, starts taking potions from the cabinet, grabs a broomstick from the occult shop.
Okay, we're going
That
classic witch.
classic witch, she can suddenly
Hmm.
fly. And she looks at Mo and Hitch and says, you pathetic children. Now all of Ouija Falls will suffer for what they did to me, and
Mm.
none shall suffer more than the descendants of Caleb Moville.
I was wondering, I was like, who is this Caleb? Who's his descendant? I was hoping it was going to be Gizzard, but oh well.
No, no,
Oh
they wouldn't stop
man.
this from happening if it was Gizzard.
No, yeah,
The episode would be
I wasn't
over.
feeling confident about it. I was like, well, they want Gizzard out of here, so this
Yeah.
isn't gonna last long. This
They'd be
theory
like,
probably
here's his
isn't correct.
address.
Yeah, we'll drive you there.
Yeah. Put us on your broom. Let's
Um,
go.
yeah, darn you, Caleb Moville.
Darn you, Caleb Moville.
Mm-mm-mm.
And at this time, as Martha as Mimi flies out of the occult shop, cackling in the air on her broomstick.
On the broom,
out of
good.
there
Okay.
to go find the descendants of Caleb Moville, because again, she doesn't know. She's fully taken over by Martha.
She doesn't know his name.
She doesn't have Mimi's memories, which is why she didn't know what a phone book was.
Okay.
Yep, she's full Martha.
I was like, she's going out of her way.
Nope, she didn't know.
To circle right back.
When she says this, Mo is definitely like, that's crazy, girl.
Most shares.
Girl. He's lowering his chair himself.
Now I have to try to get back up.
Pause for technical difficulties on chairs.
Cool.
Yeah, he's just like, I'm never.
It's like, well, that's crazy.
He's just probably like, oh, Moville?
Yeah. Mo had to like throw something to like distract Hitch. Like, go over there, catch that, Hitch. Go
fuck up, Hitch. But yes, as Mimi flies out of the shop, Lindsay walks out from the back, and she was just like, kids.
Oh, what was that?
What are you up to? Mo and Hitch are standing terrified at this point, because they obviously, Mo is like, well, I'm dead now?
About to die.
What's happening? So they explain the situation, and Lizzie is like, witches like that give us a bad name. And Mo and Hitch are like, wait, you an actual witch, Lizzie? Yeah. Skirt. What? And Lizzie's like, yeah, I'm a literal card-carrying witch, which she emphasizes by both the black cat from earlier snuggling up against her and her literal union ID card.
Her membership, her union card, which is union. I bet they have great benefits.
Unionized witches card, because witches are pro-labor.
Absolutely.
So,
witches are like, well, never mind. Keep going.
Let's hear it. I was
gonna say, witches are commies. They're communists.
Yeah, so obviously.
Yeah.
That's why they're burning them, baby.
It's not even like a hot statement or like hot take. Like, no, like witches are commies. Like, anyway, just keep it going.
Love them for it.
Exactly.
So, as a witch, Lizzie knows how to take care of this situation. Basically, she's like, kids, it's simple. You gotta get Mimi back to the portal where the spirit entered this realm. So the classroom. And you have to drive the spirit from Mimi's body without actually hurting Mimi. And once separated from its earthly host, it basically, a la a vacuum, it should be sucked back through the portal from whence it came. Probably. Okay. That's probably how it works.
Someone was watching Ghostbusters.
Yeah, Lizzie's like, ooh, that's a good idea. I got a lot of this to take care of.
Yeah.
So, as Hitch and Lizzie get some supplies together to make this witch spirit trap situation, Mo is like, I should go check on my family, because, the whole descendants of Moville thing, I should probably give them like a heads up to arm themselves.
Yeah.
Possibly about this. And as he's running back home, we do briefly see Martha as Mimi go back to the phone booth, where she looks up the last name Moville in the phone book and gets the address and heads out to the skies to enact the first stop on her revenge plot. And I gotta say, Mimi's body at this point, being possessed, it's hard. It's like a before and after presidential photo.
Yeah, all the stress of it all. It just
the stress of it all is getting to her.
Yeah, she's aged like 50 years in one day.
She's aged like she's nearing 300 years here.
Oh, geez.
Those pigtails are frizzy. We're seeing some wrinkles. There's a big old wart forming on her chin.
Oh, gosh.
It's like she's starting to maybe transform into that old hag we saw in the reflection, as Martha gets a stronger hold over Mimi that also includes her physical presence, too.
It's just the possession and the stress of it all.
Yeah. So Mo bursts into his home and runs around, starting to shut all the blinds, lock all the doors. And we see Granny Moville just sitting in there, eating the sandwich, just watching her grandson in a blind panic. And she's like, hey, honey, what you up to? And Mo asks his granny if she's ever heard of a Caleb Moville. And Granny Moville is in a classic moo. She's got like a Bride of Frankenstein / Marge Simpson hair, if I remember it correctly. And she's just like, oh,
She definitely has an updo.
Exactly. She's like, oh, yay, he's our great, 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 whatever ancestor. He's a hero of Ouija Falls. He saved an entire town from a coven of evil witches.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Right, you already forgot that.
At first,
Martha.
well, no, at first I was like, okay, calling him a hero might be a little offensive to some, but then I remembered, oh yeah, she is actually an evil witch. So yes, he did actually get evil witches away. But I'm sure there are some
to say he didn't get carried away
in there. Exactly.
Yeah, in the fervor of the moment.
You can't definitely no one has 100% rating or like
Granny Moville here, she hasn't done the research like we do. Our generation does on those. Again, Ancestry.com wasn't there. You need to get the highlight reel,
so
not
much
the
you can learn. Exactly.
But as soon as she says this, all the lights in the house are cut, and a gust of wind opens the front door. And we see Mimi enter the house, who every time we see her at this point, she's just one, couple decades older to being from the 1600s here.
Oh gosh.
Like her hands gripping the broom now are like basically just bone at this point, with like skin sagging off. And she's calling out to the Movilles, and her voice is like echoing with the sound of like generations of ancestors, when we suddenly see a light shine directly onto her. And it's Granny Moville, who was like, oh, the light bulb went out, so I replaced it real quick. And she sees Mimi and is like, oh, Mo didn't mention you were coming over. Make yourself at home, dearie. And just walks out with her sandwich to the living room.
Not at all frightened.
No, she's like, I've lived here for 100 years.
Good for Granny Moville too, not like being judgmental about Mimi's obvious, like her appearance or whatever. She's like, oh, you're a good girl. Just you need a snack. Go grab something.
I'm hungry. Yeah. You're not yourself without a Snickers.
Yeah, go get one.
So with the lights on, though, this Martha as Mimi looks at Mo and is confused as to why what's he doing in the house of Caleb's vile progeny. And Mo stands up straight and steels himself and says, I'm a Moville, Mosley Moville.
Yeah.
Which, like, Martha's Mimi doesn't give a fuck just because he helped her out for a little bit. Yeah, she's like, all right, wine's right up to cast a big old spell on him. She was like, sitting ducks here, baby. You and then that grandma?
Yeah, easy.
But before she casts a spell, like a classic good evil witch, she's cackling, and Mo uses this brief second to make a break for the school. So he sprints off to school, and she's flying overhead to find him. But at this point, as she's in the sky, she's gone full hag Martha. Wrinkles, warts, lack of hair, all of the above. And she goes into the classroom that she saw Mo burst into because she was like riding her broom through the halls. And he slams the door, but she bursts the door open with a spell. And Mo is hiding beneath one of like the classroom tables. And at this point is actually looking legitimately terrified because whatever was supposed to be there with Hitch is not there.
Oh, great.
There's a little hitching time going on, if you will.
Yeah, like don't count your bets on Hitch ever.
Nope.
Or on him putting something somewhere where it's supposed to be.
At a certain specific moment. Hitch is not your man. Nope. So she smiles at Mo as she throws a potion at him, saying, Caleb Moville, I swore revenge when we last met, and now I shall have it. And the potion explodes on the ground, emitting a thick green smoke that fills the classroom and coalesces around Mo and turns into a large, like, hand that grabs Mo by the neck, which is, like, kind of his whole body also. So that it, like, squeezes the rest of the way around his body and starts raising him into the air as he coughs and gasps for breath. And it's at this point
Mhm.
that our hero runs in. Well, our heroes.
Oh.
It's plural because it's not just Hitch who runs in, but Hitch is leading the charge, carrying the supplies that he got on the way, which is some cans of tuna, some rats that he found at Lizzie's shop, because behind him, following those treats, if you will, is a swarm of alley cats led by that little black cat from before, who flood the room and surround Martha. And Martha, who's
Charge!
still in
Yeah.
because Martha is still inhabiting Mimi's human body, who starts sneezing and breaking out in hives as, yes, her physical form is still extremely allergic to cats.
Yeah. Yikes.
And it's simply too much. Martha's eyes, aka this hag's eyes, start glowing green. She lifts from the ground with her head like thrown all the way back, a la essentially an exorcism happening now. Green smoke starts rising from like all of her orifices, essentially.
Oh my gosh. Ugh.
And she's screaming as the smoke starts swirling around her. And we see in the ceiling of the classroom, essentially a large whirlpool portal opens. And yes, like a vacuum, it sucks Martha's spirit away as her screams become more and more and more distant. And we see Mimi's body pushing up from the ground, covered in hives.
Not at all traumatic. At all.
I mean, not for Mimi, because she looks up at Mo and Hitch, who, by the way, Hitch is like covered in cuts from all the stray cat claws. I've just been fucking him up this whole time.
What a sacrifice.
Mimi looks at the two of them and is just like, why the fuck are we still in the classroom? And why the fuck am I covered in hives? And is like, sneezing like
Get these
crazy.
cats
like,
away from me.
I need an EpiPen. This is your fault somehow, and take me to a hospital.
Right now. I have a D in my class and I need to go to the ER. Thanks.
And I am dying. Come on. So Mo and Hitch do explain everything. And this time, yes, she does believe them, because she's like, this seems plausible for this world that we live in here.
Yeah. Yes.
And so, yes, they vacate the school, I assume, to at least get Mimi some Benadryl. If not, yes, take her to a hospital, or Lizzie at the minimum. Least.
Yeah.
And as they leave the school, we cut back to the teacher's lounge, where some of those teachers are still in there. We see the inside now. It's a standard teacher's lounge. They're playing poker. And in particular, we cut to their teacher, who has got a winning hand. She just won the pot. And we see her laughing at her victory. And we notice a reflection in a nearby window. Laughing in tandem with her is a familiar Puritan-looking hag.
No.
And that's the end.
What? So she can like body, I guess. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Wow. They honestly put a Band-Aid on that. They put a Band-Aid on a broken bone. They were like, They're like,
not our friend group.
Their goal was not to get the spirit back to like the afterlife. Their goal was just to get it out of Mimi. Literally, that's it. They're like, oh yeah, the ghost of Martha is still hanging out in Ouija Falls somewhere.
That's
she could
someone's
be fucking
problem.
Anywhere. Yeah, it's Mo's problem. It is very clearly directly Mo's problem.
I was about to be like, it's the teacher's problem now, but no, you're right. It is the Moville family's fucking problem.
Yeah.
It's absolutely still he's gonna learn real quick that it's still his problem.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if this was like how the series ended. You know,
this final battle.
Yes.
Yeah. Again, that teacher's gonna be wishing she was an airline stewardess real quick.
Yes, and if Mo was worried about getting D's in that class now, just you wait, man. She's gonna flunk D for death. Yes.
The sights are coming his way quickly.
Incredible job. Great work.
Thank you.
That was great.
Thank you. Yes, that was our first Halloween spooky episode.
Spooky it was. There were a few points where I was like, wow, I like literally have chills right now, actually.
Yeah. Again, Moville Mysteries. You thought they weren't gonna... I mean, it wasn't Blair Witch Project references, but it's still spooky as fuck.
Yeah, I mean,
Moville Mysteries doesn't give a shit
in a cartoon
about...
context, it's as spooky as Blair Witch Project.
Exactly.
Its own cartoony way. Yeah.
Exactly. So we'll be back next week. Alexis will be telling her first spooky Halloween tale recap. And between now and next week, who should our listeners and viewers tell about this show?
You should tell I don't think we've done this before, your teacher. If you have a teacher.
I think we maybe have. Put a spin on it. Put a spin on it. Do a specific type of teacher.
On Halloween. No. What does she teach? Because I've seen her, the teacher in this episode, I've seen her teach math in an episode.
This was like history.
All right, tell your history teacher. Nice. Yeah, if you've already graduated, then tell your old history teacher.
Yeah.
If you're like me and Grace, who have not had a history teacher for more than a decade now, I have to think, what's her email? Where do we find her email?
Yeah, how do I contact this person?
Watch Saturday Morning Mysteries.
Hi, watch us. Do you miss us?
They'll be like, who?
Like, and no?
No. I have papers to grade. Excuse me.
Remember all the times we wanted to separate you two? No, I don't fucking miss you guys.
No, I'm not watching your shit. Okay, who should they tell?
Great.
After that.
I think after that, teachers who are listening, tell your favorite student.
There you go.
They'll know when they listen to this episode. Tell your favorite. Be like, see? Enjoy, kid. Also do your homework. Stay in school.
It's like a second grader or something listening to our podcast.
I mean, hey, did I stutter?
Yeah. Hell,
you gotta learn someday, kids.
Yeah, they deserve to learn about witches getting burned at the stake.
Necromancy.
Just as much as anyone says. Yeah, necromancy.
Let's
exactly.
Go.
Yeah, teach them young. Put it on a vocab test too. See, they'll be the only ones that get it right. It is.
Yeah, Halloween themed vocab test.
Exactly.
And that's why they're your favorite student.
Yeah.
Great. Well, we'll see y'all next week. Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to Saturday Morning Mysteries.
If you enjoyed this episode, please share, rate, review, leave us a like, and drop a comment. We post episodes every Saturday and bonus tune tangents whenever we feel like it. So please subscribe so you don't miss the shenanigans.
And if you want to follow us on YouTube, click the bell under the YouTube subscribe button to receive notifications when new videos are posted.
And if you want to subscribe to the podcast, we have no idea what you're listening to us on, so just hit the big subscribe button on whatever app you're using. We believe in you.
Give us a follow on Twitter and Instagram at SatmornMist, all the abreves, and let us know if you have any episode or show requests by emailing SaturdayMorningMysteries@gmail.com.
Thanks to Jenna Kendall for the logo design and to Ava Sakiki for the music used during this week's episode.
See y'all groovy kids next week on Saturday Morning Mysteries.